Some are not even aware of that this committee will. It did not conduct the analysis, it did not conduct the testing, and therefore he is speaking about a report that was prepared by another expert, but not himself. Honorable Chair, the consequences of the decision that as you retire to make the decision that this committee will ultimately make, the consequences are untold, especially for the CS, because for him, he possibly, and I say the word possibly, stares at possible condemnation from public life, from public office. So is it proper, as a question of principle, for a mover to present witnesses before you, witnesses who have not read the motion, some are not even aware of who the CS is, witnesses whom I would say were duped. They did not even know that there was a motion. They did not even know the mandate of this committee. Can the mover properly say that he has proved his case to the required standard if these are the witnesses that he brought before this committee? Clearly, Honorable Chair, the mover has not discharged the burden of proof on his part. The burden of proof was on the mover. He told us that he needed some other witnesses to help him establish these necessary links, to establish these nexus clearly and admittedly. The mover was telling this committee that the evidence he has before you does not point, does not implicate, does not, state these specific acts that are attributable to the CS. And with that in mind, as you retire, Honorable Chair and the Honorable Members, then justice, as you retire to render justice, it is important to have in mind that justice, the scales of justice are akin, as we said previously, to a coin. There are always two sides. So, will justice have been done for the CS if, indeed, he is removed from office, or rather you make a recommendation to the president to dismiss him from office, when the mover himself admits that he has not discharged the burden on his part? There are some necessary links that he has yet to establish. The witnesses, his own witnesses, rather, had not even read the motion. They don't even know the CS. Honorable Chair, the mover must rise or fall with the charges as framed. The Constitution abhors trial by ambush. If he did not find it fit to give the CS sufficient notice of those allegations, especially on the Fertilizer and Foodstuffs, Animal Foodstuffs Act, then he must rise or fall with a motion as approved by the House. He cannot introduce these charges midway without fair notice to the CS to respond. The last point for me, Chair, is that
you have 35 seconds. Kindly conclude.
Thank you, Chair. The last point for me is it proper? Is it proper for the mover, and personally the mover, not now his counsel, is it proper for the mover, I believe as a ranking member of the House, is it proper for him to cast aspersions and make us unsupported claims or implications of bias against the committee? So, Honorable Chair and the Honorable Members, we pray and beseech that we do justice to the CS and all other public servants in this country who have been castigated unfairly, and as you've seen for him, over 5 years, state persecution for the democracy that Dr. Amino says he hardly fought for. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much. That now brings us to the end of the closing remarks by both parties, and I will proceed to give my closing remarks as we conclude this. Honorable members, the closing statement by the sponsor of the motion and the Cabinet Secretary marks the end of the investigation process. On Wednesday, 8 May 2024, we had an opportunity to hear the evidence of the sponsor of the motion, Honorable Wanami Wamboka, MP, and 5 witnesses. Yesterday, Thursday, 9th May 2024, we concluded by hearing the evidence of Honorable Mithika Linturi, the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development. Honorable members, allow me first to thank members of this committee for their commitment and dedication to the solemn duty that was bestowed upon us when we were appointed by the House. I also take this opportunity to thank all the media houses that have been present since this process began and up to today, and even after here, because I know it is their duty to release the information as needed by the citizens. Since we started this journey on Thursday, 3rd May 2024, you have had to sit for long hours as we embarked on investigation process, and I'm referring to our committee members because we have been sitting for long hours since Wednesday, 8th May, and especially that particular day was quite a heavy day where members had to sit for long hours and for doing what we needed to have done and given the attention that this deserves. I must thank you immensely for staying the course and for your invaluable contribution. Specifically, I recognize your commitment and sacrifice to sit on a public holiday. Honorable members, as you are aware, this is the first time a special motion for dismissal of Cabinet Secretary passed through various stages in the House and reached the investigation stage. All previous attempts to remove a Cabinet Secretary ended at the preliminary stage. Honorable members, this exercise has therefore eliminated light on the removal process. For the conduct of removal process, which may be relied on by the National Assembly and its committees beyond this exercise. This was not in place previously. I congratulate each one of you and for making history at a time like this. Further, as a committee, the investigation process was also characterized by various preliminary objection, applications, and requests from the parties, for which we made several rulings on the various ensuing legal and procedural matters. In this regard, you will recall that the sponsor of the motion had made a request for enhancement of his personal security. I wish to update that the Clerk of the National Assembly has since liaised with the Inspector General of Police, and personal security of the sponsor has been enhanced accordingly. Honorable members, moving on, I wish to thank the sponsor of this motion, Honorable Wanami Wamboka, MP, and the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development, Honorable Mithika Linturi, for their participation and cooperation during this exercise. Further, I also wish to immensely thank the advocates for the sponsor of the motion, led by Senior Counsel Dr. John Kamimna, and advocates for the Cabinet Secretary, led by Counsel Dr. Muthomi Tionkulu. You all made your cases for your clients, and we have heard you loud and clear. I must say it was also pleasing to see young lawyers represent their clients effectively. This gives us a lot of hope for the future, and I encourage our young people to continue serving the nation and giving us your best, because the future of this country depends on you. Honorable members, finally, allow me to thank the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly and the Secretariat seated on my left for facilitating the work of this committee. Without you, we could not have had a seamless process. Honorable members, again, having said this, what is next for this committee? From here, we embark on the report writing exercise as required under Article 152(7) of the Constitution. We shall be retreating from today to begin report writing. As you are aware, we are required to table our report to the House by Monday, 13th May, 2024. It will therefore be a working weekend for all of us. Honorable members, in this regard, allow me now to conclude by noting that we shall analyze each and every evidence that was submitted to this committee by all parties and make our findings in accordance with the requirements of Article 152(9) of the Constitution. And I thank you all. Have a good afternoon and remain blessed and be that agent of transformation in our nation. Thank you.
My lady, permit me to say to you, thank you very much. You have been impartial, objective, and you have been able to give us opportunity to say whatever we wanted to say. We look forward to the report that the Select Committee will produce. Again, God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Senior Counsel. We've also learned a lot from you.
Okay, on my behalf, so I don't have to repeat it.
Thank you. The Select Committee members, I request that we remain behind for some few minutes as we release all the others. Lunch is still given. We are generous. So Honorable Linturi, together with Honorable Wamboka and their council, you have been invited for lunch.
And my lady, also include our cousins, members of the media.
Capturing something.